Hi again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Around the Town with Chuck. My name is Chuck Guglielmo, a weekly show where we talk with interesting people around the community. And I'm all excited today. We're taping this show on Monday, October the 22nd, and today's the day where we are going to be touring all four of the Conneaut Area City School buildings. And we've got Superintendent Lori Riley with us, and she's going to kind of plan out our day and what we're going to be doing today. Lori, first of all, welcome this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I can't wait. And I've had people tell me they can't wait to see it too. People that have never been in the school buildings.
And I think it's good for the community to see what happens inside. You know, and we've got a lot of great things happening in all four of our buildings. So we're going to talk with the principals and walk around and point out some of the new programs, some of the innovative programs that are happening, and just welcome the community to take a kind of a glance inside of what's happening in the Conneaut schools. It reminds me of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when the trolley would go.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little trolley ride around town.
Yeah, and like I say, we're very excited about it. I know when we get to the high school, one of the big highlights there, of course, is going to be the library. How excited are you about that? Of course, we just had the ribbon cutting, what, a week ago?
Well, we had it last Thursday, and I was overwhelmed at the number of people that came to participate in that. We had a great turnout, a partnership with the Conneaut Public Library and sponsorship from the Ashtabula Foundation. So I can't wait to show everybody what's happening over there.
So that's one of the highlights I'm looking forward to at Conneaut High School. I'm sure there'll be a couple more. Over at Lakeshore, Lori, I'm not too familiar can you give us a little preview of what highlight we might see over there?
Sure. Lakeshore is piloting early PBIS, positive behavior intervention supports, for the state. So we're putting some climate cultural changes there. And they're also implementing PACS training. And it's a good behavior program, so you'll see how they incorporate that into their classrooms. I don't want to give it away.
That will be exciting. And I know across the street over here at Gateway, Don Zappatelli has some interesting programs going on over that. I read it in the Insider.
Did you get your newsletter?
I did get my newsletter. It came just in time too.
Yes.
I love this one. Be somebody who makes everybody feel like somebody. Talk about those programs that are developing over there.
Well, that's you're right. And the intent of the newsletter, we're doing it in conjunction with the university hospitals, is to feature what's happening in the schools and kind of parallel that with some health education articles. So what we talked about at this issue is mainly focusing on Gateway, although it's, again, a pre-K through 12 initiative. That's part of their PBIS program, kindness, setting the stage so that if you get along with each other, you'll learn better. So you'll see banners and posters in all four of our buildings, but I'm really happy with what they're doing over at Gateway. They have student ambassadors. They did the Start with Hello Week, and we're kicking off Red Ribbon Week, so you'll see a lot of staff in all four of their buildings wearing college or military or career attire, because we are supporting elevation and drug awareness this week too.
I don't know, Lori, if I can stand all this excitement. I'm just so excited. And of course, here at Conneaut Middle School, I'm familiar with, one of the highlights I'm familiar with this building, of course, is that beautiful gymnasium over there. But what are some other highlights that we might see here?
Well, we just brought family and consumer science down to the middle school for grade 8. So if depending on if that's only the first period of the day, so we may or may not catch Katie. We also usually have somebody here from university hospitals on a weekly basis doing some bottom life skills for the kids. We have junior achievement in the building. So it's Monday. I'm not sure who's going to be here. But you know, you're also we're at the middle school where the central offices are located. So our offices and the treasurer's office make use of this space as well, rather than open another building.
Well, we're all excited to get started. And Lori, I can't leave yet without asking you, or complimenting you. I think you've done a great job on co-hosting Sunrise Live Friday. It looked like you were having a lot of fun.
We were, and I was actually, kind of pointing out the different apparel we'll be wearing this year this week for Red Ribbon Week. It was a lot of fun, and it was an opportunity again to highlight things that are happening in the schools. Everybody that I had on the show was somehow connected to the great things happening here. So it was a privilege to fill in that day for him.
Well, you did a great job.
Thanks.
So I'm going to assume the plan is that we'll go to each building, we'll stop like we did here and talk with the principal for 5 to 10 minutes and then carry on with
We'll
the
walk
tour.
around, sure.
Okay, thanks, Lori.
All right, thanks. Let's
Lori
go.
Riley, our guest so far this morning on Around the Town with Chuck. All right, my next guest this morning on Around the Town with Chuck is the principal here at Conneaut Middle School, Jim Kennedy. Jim, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with us this morning. Of course, we have this planned with Superintendent Lori Riley, who we talked with this morning, to tour the 4 buildings and see some exciting high points of each building. And like I was telling her this morning, I don't know too much about the middle school, but I know that gymnasium is fantastic. But what are some other highlights that we might be seeing here this morning?
Well, first of all, we have a great group of students and great staff members, so that's really the primary focus here. We have a group of teachers really working hard with the students to grow as individuals. So honestly, hopefully you see when we walk around the building just a very respectful, nice group of kids and working diligently in class.
Oh, I know that to be the truth because about a year ago we were here for Career Day.
Yes.
And we had all the 8th graders and and they were just an outstanding. It was one of the best days I've ever had here. You said staff, how many staff members are here at the middle school?
We have 14 regular ed teachers, 5 intervention specialists, 4 specials teachers, the specials being gym, art, music, computer, band. So we have 24 staff members and 4 parapros in the building, a nurse and a secretary.
Of course, the middle school holds grades 6, 7, and 8. Do we have like a student breakdown of how many's in each grade level?
Yeah, we have about 140 6th graders, 105 7th graders, and about 120 8th graders.
How big, Jimmy, of an adjustment would you say it is for the 5th grader coming over from Gateway? Only though it's a 1-year difference and then they're coming over here to the middle school.
They tend to be very scared and nervous, thinking about opening lockers and changing classes every period. But after I talk to the kids and after about a month of getting here, they're like, this is so much, they like it better. They like some of the freedoms walking to classes. The lockers are still nerve-wracking even for some of our 8th graders, but the adjustment, and I think since our district for the last 15 years has been like a pre-K 2 building, 3-5 building, 6-8 building. These kids have been in school before with the 8th graders. When they were in 3rd, the 8th graders were in 5th. So it's not unfamiliar faces. And they're not meeting like back when we had all the elementary schools in one middle school. You know, you were coming as a 6th grade student and you were meeting not just new 7th and 8th graders, but you were meeting all new 6th graders. These kids have been in school together for 6-7 years, and so it's not unfamiliar. We do a lot of things to help transition them as well. In the spring, we do some visits to the school with the 5th graders coming over. If we feel a kid's going to be really nervous about it, we bring them over 3 or 4 times to do a tour of the building, to meet the teachers, to do the lockers. Plus, before school, we do orientation where they get a chance to walk their schedules officially. They get their lockers officially so mom and dad can help them open things up. So we try to ease that nervousness as best as we can. And I truly believe in creating a friendly environment, working closely with the students and the parents. So the kids are also very familiar with me from my years at Lakeshore. I think I have about this group of, I think, 3rd or 4th graders I still had when they were at Lakeshore. So they're familiar with me and I'm familiar with the parents, and I think that helps ease some of the stress of different buildings.
Great, great. We'll close with this, Jimmy. You've already mentioned Lakeshore, of course. This is your 3rd year as principal here.
Yeah.
And you were at Lakeshore for how many years as principal?
5.
5 years. Speaking of transition, what was that like? I know you loved the little kids.
Oh, this I enjoy even more. I loved Lakeshore. I loved everything about it. But this age group of kids, there's so much more going on here. Between band, choir, athletic programs, there's a lot to get involved with. So the after-school stuff really excites me. I love seeing the kids progress. I love seeing them go from a 6th grader to an 8th grader, just how much they grow up, how much they transition, and really trying to promote them getting involved. You know, get involved in something, whether it's the musics and the arts, our robotics classes, or our athletic programs. And I think that's what makes middle school awesome. There's so much for the kids to do.
And what is the start and ending time here at CMS?
The kids can enter the building starting at 7:25, and we dismiss at 2:25. So
pretty same as last year, just about?
yeah, relatively speaking, it's about the same as last year, 10 minutes earlier than last year's. But that helps with transportation in the other areas. So.
Well, thanks for taking some time out and talking with us, and we're excited to look through the Conneaut Middle School building. You're the first building we're hitting.
Oh, awesome. All right.
Okay, thanks. Jimmy Kennedy, the principal here at Conneaut Middle School.
These guys So over to my right-hand side, we have our display case of student art projects. Miss Sowers really works diligently with the students to create nice art projects. In the display case right now, we do have some clay where the kids have built from and molded, and we fired in our own kiln here at the middle school. So lots of hands-on projects within that. But my favorite thing is that we take the work and we display some of our student work for all to see. And the kids really, I watch them walk by. She changes the case out about every 4 weeks with different art projects going on. So it's really neat to check out the new projects as they get put in.
It is some great artwork. And then what about all these plaques up above, Jimmy? What are these?
Those are the Rotary Youth of the Years over since the building opened. There's a little time frame that we didn't get the plaque set up, but we're back doing that every year. So the first year the building was opened, starts there, progresses through. So those are the Youth of the Month, Youth of the Years from the Rotary.
Very good. So we've seen robotics, and now we've got a good look at this magnificent case here as we continue along with Conneaut Middle School tour.
labs like this with the Chromebooks in them, which has been great for the teachers. So the labs we have available, the mobile labs we have available, we have almost 200. So right now, what you are looking at is one of the mobile labs one of the labs, computer labs, one of 3 that we have for student use. And this one is getting wired. It should be wired up and up and running within the next month. I'm very proud of that. We added 3 labs this year to the building plus 4 mobile labs. So we're really close to having the availability of one-to-one devices for our students here at the building. So it's awesome. And these labs are used heavily by the teachers for curriculum and enhancing what they're doing in the classrooms.
Okay, as we continue along with our tour here of Conneaut Middle School, have a chance to catch up a little bit with the curriculum director, Chrissy Mucci. Chrissy, thanks for taking some time.
Thank you for having me today. And I have to have a disclaimer. I have to say a disclaimer first. I did not attend Edinburgh University. I had the same as Lori, Kent State, but I had to borrow it from a friend because I no longer have Kent State shirts that match, or not that match, that fit or that look okay for school. They're pretty shredded at this point. So,
Chrissy, this is what now? You're in year 3 as curriculum director?
yes.
Here at the middle school.
Year.
Prior to that, you were over at Gateway.
Correct.
Tell us what you did at Gateway.
Sure, I was principal at Gateway Elementary School. It's a 3 through 5 building.
Mm-hmm. And then prior to that, you were a reading specialist, was it?
I was a literacy specialist, and so I did a lot of coaching. And it's similar to the job that I'm doing now in a way. What I did is I went into classrooms and I did a lot of professional development. So with this job as curriculum director, I'm doing a lot of the professional development piece. I don't always go into the classroom as much because when I was a literacy specialist, I was really just focused at Gateway. It started out as just 3rd grade, and then I did 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So now I'm doing the entire district, so there's less time to actually go in the classroom and model lessons, but I do still do the coaching piece as far as professional development and things that should be happening in the classroom.
As much as you love children, and I know you do you miss that at all, not being able to go into the classrooms?
I absolutely do. And when I need a fix, if I'm stuck here doing something, let's say the CCIP, which is the budget for the district, if I just have had enough of that, I have to take a break for a minute, I walk down and I go into a classroom and I get my kid fix.
That's great.
Because I really miss the kids. And I do spend a lot of time down at Lakeshore because we're doing a lot with literacy instruction and some changes to the curriculum. So I do spend quite a bit of time down there and I get an opportunity to be with kids.
Of course, in the news a lot lately has been the testings and the report cards. Can you kind of give us a little of your feeling on what you think about all that?
Sure. As far as testing goes, it's funny that you are here today because starting tomorrow will be 3rd grade testing for the English Language Arts. And it is a very, very difficult test for students, certainly in 3rd grade and certainly now at the beginning of the school year in the fall. And if they do not have a passing score on that test, they are not able to go on to 4th grade. So it's a very stressful time for teachers and for students.
Testing starts, like you said, in 3rd grade, but it's really important. It really starts K through 2, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. I mean, there are assessments all the way through, but Ohio, a mandated test, it's the AIR assessment, that starts in 3rd grade, and it goes from 3rd to 12th. We look at English Language Arts, math, and then in 5th grade and 8th grade, they add science, and then of course the high school content areas have testing as well.
Well, Lori, you do such a great job. I'm glad, Lori. Chrissy, you do such a great job. I was just looking at Lori. What's it like working for Lori?
Everyone needs a Chrissy Mucci, that's what I'm saying.
No, it's wonderful. We really complement one another. And I usually am doing the curriculum things and she's doing everything else. So we really kind of fill in for each other and help each other out a lot.
That's great. Both of you are great people and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thanks.
Chrissy Mucci, my guest here at the Conneaut Middle School on Around the Town with Chuck. All right, we're continuing our tour of the Conneaut area city schools, and now we are at the Conneaut High School in this brand new spanking library here, and with me is the principal of the high school, Tim Neal. And Tim, you're going to tell us a little bit about this and how excited you are about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a new configured space done in partnership and in collaboration with the Conneaut Public Library. We've completely changed the furniture setting, as you can see, where we have tables and movable chairs. We'll be able to see the soft seating is sitting over on this side, study carrels, high top tables, and just the idea of creating a relaxed atmosphere for studying, still for doing research. Many technological upgrades, TVs that will be scrolling announcements and updates, 2 kiosks that are directly connected to CleveNet in the Conneaut Public Library, so students can check books out, and they are going to do deliveries for us on a daily basis.
And what was that called again?
CleveNet.
CleveNet.
Absolutely. And one piece that we're really excited about is our VR. We're going to have one piece here with the TV and monitor that's connected to virtual reality, so that classes can come down and they can do things in the VR world, especially things like space exploration, dissection, human anatomy, and that's just starting with science. Certainly there are areas that cover the things that you can do are just vast. It can go into, social studies and geography and all of those other areas as well. So, but really, really excited to start that with the science classes and get that off the ground and running.
Tim, how long was this in progress,
It's
developing this library?
From start to now, about a year and a half. We have, it started, with an idea and a vision as we started thinking about the ways that we could transform it to make it more transitional for students to go from here to college, and a better connection to the public library so students could build that familiarity in using what resources are available from the Conneaut Public Library. It's just 2 blocks over. So started with the vision about a year and a half ago up to the point of where we are today. And within that time period, of course, would include grant writing and getting the grant from the Ashtabula Foundation, and then getting into the physicality of, disassembling the bookshelves that used to be here, that used to run the whole way through, and then making the purchases that needed to be made and getting it all put together.
Of course, you've got a nice little seating area here, even for more comfortability for some of our younger kids here.
Yes,
And I can swing it
absolutely.
around there and show that seat.
Absolutely. All different types of
Oh, it's nice in here.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't be in?
So far, they absolutely love it. I think that excitement's just going to continue to grow as we get these other pieces completely in place. The rest of the technology pieces. But as you could see just a minute ago, this is only really the first day that students have been in here.
Oh, okay.
Because Friday was shortened periods, and we have April Watts, our library aide, here for 2.5 days a week. So really today was the big day that students could start coming down out of study hall and starting to use the space. And right away, first period, right away I went to the relaxed seating, sat down, grabbed a book. So that was exciting.
When we were over at the middle school talking with Jim Kennedy, he said the library was open there Mondays and Thursdays. So this is 5 days?
This is 2.5 with the library aide. Now classes, it's open for classes throughout all days and all weeks. And so that's a big piece to this, and doing the technology piece is to also encourage classes to come down here and utilize this space more as well. So we share with Lakeshore. Mrs. April Watts goes from here to Lakeshore. 2.5.
For the ribbon ceremony that we had last week, I understand we even had people from the public library in here.
Yes,
Kathy Zapatello?
Kathy Zapatello, absolutely, who has been working in partnership with me, with Mrs. Riley, on making this happen, and just an intricate part to this, because the majority of this vision was started with the idea of how could we collaborate more with the public library, and Kathy's been awesome and great, just coming together and bringing that vision to work.
Oh, this has just been awesome. A beautiful library, continued success with it, and we're looking forward to seeing some other things here today.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep. Of course, we can.
Oh, yes, absolutely. For this week, television's going to be, I have a copy of it, but there's some red hats and just different disguise things that students can come up and it's like a full for his students. So that was a great thing.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. Do we have a hashtag? I wonder if anybody came up with the hashtag.
Because that's the one thing we look for. I think we have it like written up.
Yeah. So, tell them.
This is these are the different chords that students can earn to wear at graduation. One of the ideas that was brought forward was, can we display these for students to see so that they could work towards graduation in case they didn't know about them. So the honors diploma and the course of getting there, which is the rigorous honors curriculum, National Honor Society, and of course getting that award by being inducted in National Honor Society, Community Service Corps, of course, completing 50 or more service hours, and then Military Corps, red, white, and blue, for those who are going to start a future with the military, whether that be an enlistment or whether that be going through, most recently, one of the academies. But the idea of getting it out here so that students can see this and visualize it and have something to work forward to as they work towards graduation, and what chords they might be able to earn to wear during that time period.
Okay, so my government classes are working on the Electoral College, and they're playing a game in which they roll dice, and what they roll is their popular vote, and whoever gets the higher number, that's their electoral vote. So they go through all the states and then see, who gets the 270, which is the number that you need to be elected president. And in some of the groups, just like in past elections, you have someone that wins the popular vote but not the electoral vote. And then sometimes you have, and most of the time, you have someone that will win the electoral vote and popular vote. But it's just another way to teach electoral college, which can be confusing for some kids.
All right, go ahead, Tim, with this plow here. Tell us about it.
Awesome. So each year, the Ohio Department of Transportation gives you the opportunity to participate in the ODOT plow program, and I think they reach out in May, and if you agree, you just submit back in writing, and then in August they drop a plow off at the school, and then students get the opportunity to paint that, to design that plow, to paint that plow, and then ODOT will pick it back up, and it will be on the truck or trucks that service the Conneaut area. And so this plow was dropped off this fall, and students worked on it diligently, and it's going to be picked up today.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely, and just a great program with ODOT. So you'll be able to see this plow as you're out and about in the community on the ODOT trucks.
Tell us what that says, just in case you can't.
Oh, okay. This says Spartans are out of this world.
There's no question about that.
and just a nice mural of space and an alien and comets, and so out of this world. Spartans are out of this world.
Yep. You never hear me argue about that, Tim.
Absolutely. What you're currently seeing are students from our ESC Happy Hearts unit, high school unit that's here at Conneaut High School. Just a wonderful group of kids, and they are currently prepping gardens that they will plant in the spring, and learn about the gardening process. So they're currently prepping it, taking out the sod, and they'll turn the soil as it gets ready to set this winter. But just really fortunate to be able to have this unit here at the high school. And of course, this unit is operated through the Ashtabula County Educational Service Center, which is an intricate part for these, previously known as Happy Heart students. And I do need to say that certainly this levy, the issue 3 coming up this fall, is critical for these students and the education that we can provide them within our districts throughout Ashtabula County. So please consider voting for issue 3 as you go to the polls this November, because these are the students that benefit from that in just being able to be in their school districts in the phenomenal programming that can be offered to them.